Since the late 90s, I've been very active, particularly in speaking up about what's been taking place in the Congo and going into the 2000s and going into the wars and going to the invasions and urging the world to speak up about the atrocities that were taking place there so that we can have our conflict minerals and have, even the iPhone that I'm recording on right now, have materials that come from the 3Ts, the tin, tantalum, and tungsten, the coltan that make our electronics products run. I joined organizations like Stand Now, student organizations, to speak up about what's happening. And, we got people like Oprah started to learn about what was going on and called Congo the most dangerous place in the world to be a woman because of the atrocities that were taking place there, particularly in the form of rape at the hands of Rwandan and Ugandan armies or supported armies and the like. And I worked proudly with, many other organizations, particularly Jewish World Watch, who was extremely active in using their platform to make sure that never again also meant the Congo as well, and many of the other organizations or areas of the world that they work in. But it particularly meant a lot to me for something like that to happen. And so when I see stories coming out that people have been fairly or not even fairly, but completely silent on the sexual abuse, assaults, and rapes that Jewish hostages have endured, it's sickening. It bothers me that, from what I'm understanding, organizations within the UN waited like 8 weeks to issue a report. Some people have been prominent about speaking up about, rape in other cases in other countries have gone silent and the like. And I don't have a deep amount of expertise on actual names and organizations, but I was stunned to hear this. And it's very problematic. We can't have whataboutism about rape. We just can't. And I've gone as hard as anybody, or, in speaking about the need for a ceasefire and being critical of Netanyahu and his government and settler violence against Palestinians in the West Bank and definitely have been talking and writing songs about the issues that have been going on in Gaza right now. There's no doubt about it. And that's never going to stop. But it would never be in my mind to use my frustration with the policies of a government or people on the ground and in some way, shape, or form kind of just like dismiss rape or write off rape in some way. Well, that's just what happens during a war. No, it's always inexcusable. We know that it's used as a tool of war, but that doesn't mean that we accept it. And so I feel like anybody out there who, we went through the whole, Me Too movement, and some people say it's still happening in some way, shape, or form. We know it's not as big as it was a few years ago. How are you going to speak out for Me Too and then be silent about all the others or the rest? How are you going to be so angry about what's happening in Palestine, as many of us are, and then just say, oh, well, you're either against rape or you're not. And there's no circumstance, no situation in which we can just, have that be fine. We talk about R. Kelly and the music. We talk about so many different things. And then we turn to a particular population, and for whatever reason, we choose to stay silent. That's not being an upstander is about. That's not being what an upstander is about. That's being a bystander to atrocities. And so my hope is that everybody will speak up and condemn this. And I know some people say that Hamas is afraid to release female hostages because they're afraid of what stories they're going to tell. I don't believe that, because from what I'm understanding, I don't watch a lot of videos. I listen to more news on audio. But some of these rapes were recorded when they took Jewish hostages. So if they would do that and post it, why would they care about what anybody says now? And so we all need to step up. We all need to find our common humanity. We all need to be able to realize that silence is compliance. And at the very least, at our very root, we should be able to condemn rape in every way, shape, or form, wherever it happens. And look, I'm saying this right now, knowing that there are many people who still won't speak up about what's taking place in the Congo, because it's getting worse in the Congo again. And it was never fine, but it's getting worse again. And I'm not going to wait for somebody to speak up on what's happening in Congo before I decide that I'm going to speak up on this. And please don't be that person either. So my hope is that we'll, appeal to some better angels here and really start to put ourselves in positions where we can call out injustice wherever we see it, and somehow discover our common humanity, because we're either part of the solution or part of the problem, and our silence is compliance. So speak up, condemn rape, condemn sexual abuse wherever we see it by whoever does it. Period. Bottom line, full stop. Peace.